Everyone's been telling you to post on LinkedIn to grow your B2B business, but here's the truth, LinkedIn reach is dying. The numbers don't lie. LinkedIn organic reach has tanked massively, and LinkedIn's leaning more and more into boosted posts, thought leadership ads, and sponsored company posts. It's all going into pay to play. And after helping dozens of B2B and SaaS companies drive millions in pipeline and revenue, the sad truth is many companies are wasting their time posting on LinkedIn and driving zero inbounds. So what actually works today to drive pipeline and revenue for your B2B or SaaS company? So first off, let's talk about why LinkedIn reach is dying. So to tee up some context, I've got around 36,000 followers on LinkedIn at the time of recording this. I've been posting now for many years, and probably up until now, about a year back, I was averaging several thousand impressions per organic post. Now I'm getting several hundred on most posts, with the odd exception. So why do I think this is? Well, I think LinkedIn's leaning more and more into prioritizing pay to play, so boosting company page posts and ads, and boosting personal posts, so thought leadership ads. In short, they want to generate more revenue from the platform. It's fair enough. It makes sense. So they're leaning more and more to pay to play. So now, if you really want your content to get shown to your ideal client profiles, you've got to either invest in thought leadership ads or company ads, or a mix of both on the platform, so you can start getting your posts in front of your ICP, your ideal client profiles, and start retargeting those visitors that visit your website to keep top of mind and build trust over time. As well as this, LinkedIn are placing way more emphasis than ever before on personal posts. So posting from your personal profile gets way more organic reach compared to company posts. And this is why right now at Breaking B2B, we've been forced to invest in ads on LinkedIn to get in front of our target audience, whether that's retargeting our website traffic, so our SEO visitors to stay top of mind, or targeting cold visitors that fit our ICP with educational content, funny content, case studies, reviews, proof, testimonials, and more, so we can keep top of mind both with folks in the sales pipeline and cold prospects that hit our ICP. And that's also we can keep our company Breaking B2B top of mind with those prospects. So to summarize, LinkedIn organic reach is getting tougher and tougher by the day. And if you really want to distribute your content to the right prospects, it's becoming pay to play. So what's the answer? Well, I think it's building owned media assets. So things like your website, investing in SEO, building out a podcast, a YouTube channel, and a newsletter. These are all assets that you own and fully control. These aren't rented platforms, and these content assets can work around the clock, 24/7, to build trust, educate, entertain, and drive inbound opportunities. Plus, they can work full funnel through serving information right at the top of the sales funnel, to mid funnel providing useful assets, right to the bottom of funnel, those case studies, social proof, those proof points to really build trust and provide that tipping point to encourage prospects to book a call or book a demo with you. So why do these type of assets beat social media marketing and things like posting organically on LinkedIn? Well, I'm not saying stop posting organically on LinkedIn, because for me, up to now, it's worked exceptionally well. We still get a little bit of reach there, and we are doing some paid sponsored posts. But this is an awesome way to reduce your reliance on social media and start building these owned assets and ecosystems that are going to work around the clock to stay front of mind and build trust with dream clients. And most importantly, you're not at the mercy of algorithm changes. So just like we've seen that dramatic drop in LinkedIn's organic reach, if that kicks into play, you've got these assets that are going to work hard for you, even if algorithms suddenly stop performing well for your business. Not only that, but you can create multiple touch points depending on where your prospects are at in their buying journey, i.e. whether they're researching, whether they're evaluating, whether they're comparing those vendors, or whether they're just looking for those final proof points, those final case studies to make a decision. Many times these owned assets, whether that's SEO, whether that's your website, whether that's folks tuning into you on YouTube or podcast or consuming your newsletter for weeks, months or more, often they can have a higher conversion rate. And unlike social media posts that can disappear after a few days, these assets compound, creating an evergreen effect over time. And let's be real, no one wakes up and suddenly decides to spend 20, 50, 100 or 150K plus on your software or your service. It takes a lot of thought, evaluation, education, consideration, internal debates, internal discussions, and more before they're ready to buy, which can take months or even years depending on your sales cycle and the ticket size of your service or software. And this is exactly why this approach works when it comes to creating this media ecosystem of assets that you own and control. By the way, if you're serious about building a B2B media ecosystem, one of the first things you should consider is SEO. And if you want to start taking SEO seriously to build mindshare, drive pipeline, and revenue, why not grab a call with me over at breakingb2b.com or hit the first link in the description below. I'll share exactly how we've helped dozens of B2B and SaaS companies make SEO a top revenue driver and share insights on how you can do the same. That's breakingb2b.com or hit the link in the description below. Right, back to the video. Now let's talk about what the real B2B buying journey actually looks like. Now by now, many of you have probably got a "how did you hear about us?" question on your inquiry forms, on your book a demo or your book a call, Calendly or similar booking link. But oftentimes I'll go a layer deeper, and when I jump on the initial discovery call with prospects, I'll ask them something like, what was your full route to discovering me today? Or what were some of the touch points? Or how did you stumble upon us at Breaking B2B today? And they might put in the inquiry form SEO or LinkedIn or podcast. And then they'll jump on the call and say something like, well, Sam, we searched for SaaS SEO agency, found you there, took a look through your website. Then I checked out the Breaking B2B podcast and YouTube channel, watched a few episodes for a while. Then I checked out some of your articles. Then I followed you on LinkedIn for a few months, eventually flagged you up with our exec team in Slack and said, look, we should check out Breaking B2B for our SEO. Then a few tasks got important, completely forgot about SEO for a few months. Then it became super important because I kept seeing competitors above us in Google search for our core terms, and likewise on LLMs when I was searching for around our solutions, comparing vendors, etc. Then our exec team agreed that we needed to get it done. I flagged up your YouTube videos with them, and eventually we decided to book a call with you and do some business and get our SEO sorted. So as you can see, oftentimes the B2B journey is messy as anything. It's certainly not linear, and there's a lot of touch points going on, oftentimes for several weeks, months, or even years before prospects decide to reach out, book a call, and do some business. And this is exactly why SEO is awesome for capturing the active demand where dream clients are looking for your solution now, comparing vendors, or maybe even annoyed with their incumbent vendor and looking for alternative solutions. Podcasts are great to build an extra layer of trust, whether that's audio podcasts or YouTube episodes, to really build that one-on-one connection with your audience on a deeper level and really ingrain that trust that you are a thought leader in the space. Newsletters are a great way to keep top of mind, especially for longer sales cycle solutions or products. And all these touch points are pretty crucial, especially if you're selling a high-ticket B2B software or service, so you can keep top of mind with dream clients on the channels they actually use day in and day out. So let's talk in practical terms what building out this media flywheel actually looks like. Well, first off, we've got SEO, and the crux of a revenue driving SEO program is to know exactly what your dream clients search for on Google organic search or now LLMs when they're in that buying mode, when they're not messing around hunting for information, but they're actively seeking out solutions like yours and ready for taking a sign up, booking a demo, or booking a call with your sales team. So that means focusing on commercial intent searches, not informational based searches, but money keywords that they're going to be typing into Google or LLMs when they're in that buying mode. And oftentimes there are ways with SEO where you can actually drive pipeline as quick as 90 days from publishing content with the right strategy. So for example, if you're a proposal software SaaS, you might have long-term goals to rank for search terms like best proposal software, or in the midterm you might go specifically for the industries you serve best, i.e. proposal software for SaaS or proposal software for finance or proposal software for HR, knowing those main money verticals that you've historically sold well into, have the problem you solve, are motivated to fix it, and have cash to easily invest in your offer. And a great quick win, especially for tech and SaaS companies, is when you know the common competitors, the top 3, 4, 5 competitors that always get brought up in sales calls almost to an annoying level, is to target them directly. So we know that folks might get annoyed with them perhaps for poor customer success. Maybe their pricing goes sky high when you add more users, or maybe there's another reason that folks often move away from them, or perhaps your dream clients just often evaluate 3, 4, 5 vendors internally before making a decision. And this is why competitor alternative, competitor pricing, competitor reviews, competitor 1 versus competitor 2, these type of searches and building content for these type of searches ranks exceptionally well, because we know that often prospects get annoyed with their current vendor and look to move away, or they evaluate several options before making a decision. So if you can craft well-researched content that's backed by customer research that attacks their problems, their frustrations, positions your product as the painkiller, has plenty of proof signals, whether that's customer quotes, customer case study video reviews, testimonials, and more, addresses common queries, sales objections, FAQs on page. And whether that is competitor alternative pages, whether that's best X solution listicle or articles, whether that's industry focused, niche relevant landing pages or elsewhere, essentially building your website to be a 24/7 sales rep. So you're putting multiple lines in the water. So every time a dream client searches directly for your solution, is comparing alternatives, is looking for a specific use case for that industry, you've got a dedicated page that's way better than anything else on the internet, attacks their direct problems, their goals, their jobs to be done, positions your product or solution as a painkiller, is fully backed by customer research, so it's going to resonate with dream clients, plus covers the basic technical of SEO, whether that's page speed, metadata, making sure your money keywords in H1 and so on, as well as reinforcing those hard to rank search terms or keywords with solid niche relevant backlinks and brand mentions. All of these evergreen assets that you build out are going to start to get you visibility both on Google organic search and LLMs when dream clients are hunting for your solution or evaluating options, so you can start gaining mindshare and driving inbound opportunities from high sales intent prospects. Now, to start ramping up that authority, you can think about building out your own podcast and YouTube channel. There's a couple ways that you can play this. So you can interview dream client. So you can make a list of your top 20, 50, 100 accounts and invite those folks to be a guest on your podcast. So in our case, most of the time in B2B, these folks are probably hanging out on LinkedIn. So why not make a list, invite them to be a guest on your show. In many cases, they'll be humbled to be a guest. And in that episode, you can ask them insightful questions around their industry, perhaps how they're driving growth, what they're doing today, their learnings, and more. You can then produce that into a great episode on both YouTube and the audio podcast channels. But the beauty of this strategy is it builds a layer of trust with that prospect. So they might not buy right now, they might not take a demo or call with you right now, but it's a great way to then stay top of mind. And perhaps at the end of the interview, you might ask them a question once you finish recording, like, how are you tackling this problem that your product solves today? Or how are you dealing with this problem that your product solves at your organization today? Just to open up that conversation, and perhaps it's worth a chat at a later date. Or even if not, you've got them in your network, maybe you add them to your email list, you add them on LinkedIn so they'll start enjoying your content. And eventually, when they may need your solution, you're top of mind. Perhaps they might even have your referrals for your business. This has been something we've done at Breaking B2B and has driven a bunch of inbounds over the years. Another strategy is building solo episodes. So just like we do on the Breaking B2B podcast and YouTube channel, all to show thought leadership. So in our case, we talk about SaaS SEO, B2B SEO, share experiments we're running at B2B across our marketing channels, what's worked, what hasn't, essentially sharing the full playbook, making it as useful and practical for anyone that tunes in as possible. So many folks might try and do it themselves, but many folks will realize it's a lot to do internally and they'll reach out directly to you when they need your help because they trust you to get the job done. And a third strategy here is to actually guest on niche relevant podcasts. So you can go onto a website like Listen Notes, you can type in your industry. In our case, that might be B2B marketing or SaaS marketing. In your case, it might be finance, accounting, or something else, whatever's relevant. And then you can see the top shows in your industry and your niche. And my tip here is to reach out to the host of each show, stand out from the noise by sending them a custom Loom video like, hey Jess, or hey Tom, enjoyed your recent episode on XYZ, had some unusual ideas that I think would be useful for your audience, and happy to then promote the show to my audience across socials, email list, etc. Would you be against having me on your podcast? This gets a really high acceptance rate. The beauty of guesting on niche relevant podcasts that your dream clients are listening to is you can grow your own following across socials, you can grow your email list. Helps with SEO because they'll likely post an article on the podcast topic and even backlink to your site. And once again, this is an asset that's promoting you, your business. You're getting some SEO and some PR value and even the chance to get direct inbound leads from that podcast guesting strategy. And last off, we've got your newsletter. And this is something we've done at Breaking B2B with a newsletter over the last few years. A great way to build up your newsletter following is to create a lead magnet or calculator or something valuable that your dream clients would probably pay for, but you give it away for free. So quite often when I'm posting on LinkedIn Organic, for example, I might say at the end of a post, PS, grab my 90 days to revenue SEO guide, head over to the Breaking B2B site and hit the newsletter tab and you can unlock that instantly. And something like that format that's relevant to your niche, relevant to your industry, and genuinely useful for your dream clients is a great way to build up that list. Then you can consider sending out a weekly, or in my case, a week daily newsletter with tips, insights, playbooks, ideas, maybe fresh podcast episodes or more, so you can keep top of mind with your dream clients, even when they're not ready to buy, but you're staying consistently there as a valuable asset. So when they eventually need your services or know someone that might, you're the one that they think about reaching out to. Now, SEO is a big piece of the puzzle to build trust, mindshare, and capture inbounds from both Google Organic and now LLMs. And many B2B and SaaS teams that partner with us for their SEO often see results in pipeline as quick as 90 days. So if you want to chat with me about where you're at and where you'd like to get to with SEO to start driving pipeline and revenue for your B2B or SaaS business, why not book a call with me over at breakingb2b.com or hit the first link in the description below. Or if you're not ready, grab our 90 Days to Revenue playbook, head over to breakingb2b.com and hit the newsletter tab. Or you can check out the Breaking B2B podcast for interviews with SaaS marketing leaders, as well as actionable tips to grow your SEO, your B2B marketing pipeline and revenues. And with that, I shall catch you on the next one. Cheers.